Hey guys, I'm gonna do a garden update since spring everything's growing. Thought I'll show you guys what's going on. First up is my red Pakistani mulberry. It's in this, I think, 10-gallon pot. I got it 2 years ago and it was about 3 inches tall. And then just within the first few months it grew like crazy. And then now it's 3-4 feet. And then I had grafted Cucuso and Shangri-La here. See. Trying to get it to focus. Come on. Didn't want to focus, but the wind had knocked over the pot and broke the grafts off. So, oh well. We'll have to try again next time. But this is going to go in the ground right here. I'm in zone 8A, and I'm hoping that this will grow fine. This is south side of the house, so it's the warmest area and plenty of room to grow. And then over here is my pawpaw, which is coming back from the ground. I got it as a seedling last year. I mean, it was barely put on any growth last year. Its top half died off in the winter. Now it's coming back from right there. I had two. The first one never made it. This one is doing okay. Maybe I need to amend the soil a little bit. And then we have my Celeste that I had air layered and left on too long, so it grew. And I think the problem is the root structure is not that big, and it's a very tall plant, so it doesn't put out a lot. So what I'm going to do is I will air layer it, maybe here and here, and then let it be about 2 to 3 feet tall and let it grow. That should help it a lot, and then I can give away the rest of the plants. See if there's any figs coming. There might be. Oh, there's one right there. And this is my Osborne Prolific. Love this fig. Haven't really had much fruit from it. It is very slow to come back. It's still alive. You can see it's green. Can you tell in the camera? But still alive. Slowly coming back from the bottom. It's working its way to the top. This is the one fig that wakes up really late for me. I guess that's just the characteristics of it. Next we have brown turkey. Last year literally just grew sideways, but it's looking like it's gonna grow straight up this time because it's going out the middle. And then I will kind of clean it up here eventually. A whole bunch of organic fertilizer on top. I'll get rid of this grass, maybe put a border. This is my LSU purple. This is, I guess, the best grower of the figs that I have so far. You can tell it's putting on some figs. Fig there. I see some bugs. Spray it with neem oil. I just see one fig so far. This is the Ronde Bordeaux. You can see ants bringing aphids. will not focus. Well, there's a bunch of aphids in there that I will have to spray. You can tell, see the ants. I don't know if you can tell, but the ants are bringing aphids, which is not good. But that is my ronde Bordeaux, and that is my grape. So let's go over to the other side of my yard. Here's the Pakistan mulberry again. Got my azaleas, roses. This is my saucer magnolia. And this is my jujube that I grafted to a rootstock. I think it's a Lee on this side and honey jar on this side. And looks like starting to put on flowers. Tiny little flower buds. And then this I let the rootstock grow, so when I get another variety I can graft it right there until graft, and then rootstock. So I'll let this grow. It flowers and produces, so I can still enjoy smaller jujubes. But happy this is doing great in this area. It's nice and warm. This is my persimmon that I had a video of uppotting from a few years back. This was a lot taller. Well, what I did was I topped it over here so you can let the root structure put more energy into the rest of the plant, and then you can keep it contained. Now you can tell there's literally flowers on every part. Flower, 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 flowers. You can see all the flowers right there. Tons more flowers, so I'm hoping I get at least a few fruits. And this is a Russian pomegranate. Put this in the ground last year. There's some weeds growing that need to be taken out. It's a little stick. It grew like crazy last year. It flowered last year. It fruited last year too. But we had an early cold that killed off the one fruit that was on there. This is pink guava that I grew from seed. I kept this outside under the patio through the winter just to see how it does. Did end up losing all its leaves, but there was very little dieback on the branches, so it's coming back. This one I kept inside, and you can see much better condition, but I still don't see any flower buds. Then coming over here, this is my Pakistani mulberry. This is the white Pakistani mulberry that I grafted. You can see this is a dwarf ever-bearing rootstock. I grafted the white Pakistani mulberry a few days ago. It hit around 38 or 39 degrees, and the new growth that was on here withered away and died. But luckily the older growth is doing good right there, so this will continue to grow. There still are buds. Oh, hopefully some of these grow. And then we have a gold nugget loquat that I bought from Lowe's 2 days ago. nice and big. Looks really healthy. Gold nugget. My friend has one of these in Houston and he's always raving about it. Shiraz, you saw his garden, Houston garden tour video. If you look up, I think my second or third video, it's in there. Check out his plants. This is some cantaloupe that I bought that I need to plant, so hopefully soon. But thing with this loquat is it flowers in the winter time, and if it gets too cold, it won't produce flowers. The plant will be fine, but then we won't get any fruit. So just got to figure out what to do in that regard, where to plant it. So I'll make a video of that once I get to it. Let's go in the back. So this is the messy side of the yard. If you guys remember the wood chips video where Chip Drop came and dropped a truckload of wood chips. I've been adding grass and food scraps to it. This has brought a ton of worms. So before, this was what we saw. Now, if we go in, you can see nice, dark, rich. Still has some breakdown to do. Tons of baby worms. Tons of worms. Hundreds of worms. My son loves to come here, catch worms. So there's a ton of it left to use. This side of the yard is about 32 by 12. So I'm planning on maybe putting a polytunnel greenhouse that I can remove during springtime, and put tropicals here like mangoes and chikus and all that fun stuff, because I want to put them in the ground, and it'd be a good place to put them because all this wood chip is breaking down. It's providing a lot more drainage, something for my tropicals to grow in. And then what we have here is, this is a male melonberry or a chayberry. That's the female. I had trimmed these down quite a bit in the last couple of weeks. They grow like crazy over here. They're grafted to a Osage orange rootstock that my friend did. You can kind of see there. You can see the color difference. So the rootstock does pretty well in crappy clay soil that has horrible drainage. I had a peach in here before that died. Couldn't handle all the water. There's ants bringing in a ton of bugs, aphids, having that issue everywhere. So I'm going to have to spray some neem oil and get rid of these aphids. I don't see any flower buds on this. I know my friend who lives close by, his does. The one I got this from, he saw some flower buds this year. So let's see. This can grow without a pollinator, but apparently it produces better with a pollinator. That's what the male is for. I might just graft the male to the female and then take this out so I have more room for something else, but we'll see. And I might move this somewhere else if I'm going to put all my tropicals here, because this doesn't need a greenhouse. And then the guavas you guys saw, I had another one, the guavas in the front, pink ones. I had another one that I put in the ground here last year as experiment to see how it does. And this side of the yard, when it rains, the water sits, and I know my guavas love water. I can keep them in water, they do fine, no issues. This did die back to the ground. I didn't really protect it or anything, just mulched it and stuff. I should have done a better job, but you can see right there, it's coming back right there. So maybe in the next few weeks we'll see some growth coming out of that. So this is the project side, trying to build the soil here before I can plant anything. So we'll see what happens. And then over here we have my small pineapple guava. This was maybe like 6 inches tall when I got it a few years back. Somebody had this on Craigslist along with that one that they were getting rid of because they would die back every year, never flower. But I've had them in this spot. This one has grown quite a bit. I mean, you can imagine it was like tiny little 6-inch thing. Now it's grown that much. I put on one flower last year. I was able to cross-pollinate it with the other one. That other one got tons of fruit, but unfortunately we had a early winter and it killed off all my fruit, eroded them, so wasn't able to taste anything. Here's a flower bud. I know there are more because I saw them, but there's one right there, there's one right there, and there was a couple here and there, so there's 4 or 5 flower buds on here that I've seen. We'll be able to cross-pollinate that with this one, which has, I mean, like tons and tons and tons of flower buds. Like everywhere you look, this is going to be filled with flowers. So we'll see how it does. And then coming back here is my chiku. Got this as a seedling. It was maybe 12 inches tall. A lot of branches have broken off of this. I left this outside too under my patio during winter. Survived. Leaves kind of took a little bit of damage, but no big dieback or anything. You can see the wind knocks this thing around. Might have to take off this branch. Oh, just broke off. I'm going to use that as mulch. And then we have a blackberry here. You can tell there are some blackberries on it coming along. New flowers, old flowers, tons of flowers, doing really well. Here, I buried some under the mulch. You can see. Want to see if it'll root out. Probably check it maybe in a month or so. I think I put it a few weeks back. But we'll see. If it does root out, I'll cut it and I'll plant it somewhere else. So this is my other pineapple guava. Doing well. Hopefully we get some fruit this year. This was supposed to be a strawberry guava, but apparently it's a different type. My friend was saying it's a rare, I forgot what it was called. I'll put it in the video. You'll be able to see the name, but this is supposed to be hardier than the pineapple guava, and the way you can tell is because the new leaves come out red. And in a strawberry guava they don't. So this is supposed to be a collector's variety, a lot more rare. Doing really well. You can see I am getting flower buds right there. There's a couple there. There might be more around. I will have to check. But super excited to see how it does. This is my medjool that I grew from seed. I had one before that was like 7 years old. It wasn't too much bigger than this, but it got left out in the winter and it died. So I grew another one. This is 2-3 years old. Keep it in a pot, so keep the soil dry. This I got from my friend. This is a silk hope mulberry. Took a cutting, grew it. This thing's growing like crazy. It's doing really well. I'm gonna put it in this spot right here. He also gave me this bougainvillea, so I'm excited to let this grow. It likes to be dry, so we have hot summers here. Just got to make sure I don't kill it in the winter time by overwatering. This is my blueberry. I forgot what the name was. And I see some blueberries. Wow. Or flowers at least, turning into blueberries. This is so cool. I didn't see that before. I do get sulfur and put it in here to reduce pH because they like acidic soil. So I might need to add some more and fertilize it. I'm going to fertilize these plants today. Get rid of these grass and weeds. And I might get another variety and plant it close by, because if you have two different varieties, they produce a lot more. This is my sapodilla. Produces fruit every year, but haven't really had anything good come off of it. Not sure why. It grows well, produces a few fruit, but nothing that's been tasty, so I have to see, maybe put in a pot or something, or in the ground, see how it goes. This is a prickly pear. I found that pad at a safari I went to in Texas. It was just laying on the ground. Picked it up, brought it home, put it in this pot. It grew this last year. Actually, it grew that last year. Wintertime, this kind of, I don't know, was hanging over. And then as soon as the weather got warm, it put out 4 new pads. So, excited. Let's see if we get anything out of it. This is my Robert's Golden Rainbow. Just put it in the ground. I think I posted a video a week ago. So, let's see some growth coming out. Might be a fig, maybe. I don't know. Let's see. Hoping it takes off. Would love to try it, but more than that, I want this to get established. Could be a fig, right? Kind of hard to see. We'll see. I'll update you guys. This is my LSU cutting. I gave one away so far. But this one looks like it's doing well. Should grow. This is Meyer Lemon Graphite to, well, it was chip budded to a trifoliate. You can see there's another chip bud there that didn't take. This lost most of his leaves in winter, but looks like it's coming back. Hopefully it comes back. Kathleen's black. I had a ton of dieback on this guy every year. I'm going to plant it in this spot in the ground and hope for the best. Really want to try this. My friend said it's delicious. Well, actually I might plant it somewhere else, because Robert's Golden Rainbow, Desert King right here, might not be enough room for that. This is Desert King that I planted the same time as my Golden Rainbow. It did have a bunch of figs on it, which fell off, but looks like it might be producing more. And it is starting to rain now, but we're almost done, I think. Have a couple tomatoes, another one right here, you can see a couple tomatoes in there. Let's see what variety this is. Better Bush hybrid tomato. And these are a different one. Basil. This is jalapeno. Strawberries. This thing stays green throughout winter. There are a couple strawberries on there. I got curry leaves. This is another Osborne prolific. It had leaves all winter, and I think it didn't dry enough. The soil was too wet all winter, and and all the leaves fell off. I'm hoping this comes back. It was green. Maybe I should move this since it is raining now. I'm gonna put it under, let it stay warm. These two are my Chicago Hardies, grown from cutting. They were really small last year. Now this one's starting to grow. This is a Celeste. You can see a couple of figs on there. And then I have my Ingas. And I don't know, had a ton of dieback this winter. I'm hoping they come back. It's still green down there. Another Inga. This is a red sugar apple. Not sure if it's still alive. I had a lot of plants that took a ton of damage. These are lemon guavas. Lemon guava. Lost his leaves in the winter, never came back. This is a Meyer lemon that I've been using to take cuttings and graft. This is passion fruit. Flowered last year, then in the winter died back to the ground. I left it in the ground. I left it in the pot outside. Got that from Shiraz's. You probably saw it in the video. This is one of my sugar apples. Looks like it's coming back. This is the only one I've seen with growth. So you can tell. These other ones. This is Adamoya. That one's another. That one is a custard apple. And that one is a guava right there. That I'm hoping might come back. But out of all my sugar apples, this is only one that's coming back. So I'm hoping they're just late to the game. We'll see. These are Supreme Red guavas. These had a ton of dieback too, but they're coming back. Got two of them. Excited about these. Then I have 3 peaches that were growing under my in-laws' trees, so I took them out. I'm going to use them as rootstock once they're a little bit more established. I have peppers in here, seeds, cucumbers, cilantro, eggplant, and then these are mulberry cuttings. I'm hoping they'll come back. This is my loquat seedling that I got seeds from Shiraz when I went to Houston a couple of years ago. I think 2 years ago maybe. I was planted right there under that pomegranate, so I decided to move it over here. These are trifoliates that I'm going to use as rootstock for other citrus plants. And you guys remember my mango. I don't think it made it. So, looks like it's dead, but I'm going to try again. And then this is an American persimmon. And I did graft fuyu to it. It grew well last year, and for some reason it died off this over the winter. Not sure why. Might have been because of the tape that was on there. Oh, what is that? Looks like a little green wasp or something. Maybe a cricket. I don't know. But this is a dwarf ever-bearing mulberry. Produces these tiny little mulberries everywhere. You can see there's tons and tons and tons of them. Starting to get a darker color now, so maybe next few days they might be good. You can see mulberry. Ooh, yes. Let's try it. Maybe I'll save it. I'm sure my wife will want to snack on some of this, or maybe I'll eat half. Actually, I might want to wash it first, but it's actually got quite a bit bigger than what's on here, so maybe they'll, once it rains, it'll put on some size. So there's another cutting from there. Here's a Celeste that I also air layered, just like the one in the front. I have two Celestes, and everyone I know has Celeste, so I don't know if I'll keep these, because I'd rather grow other varieties until it's starting to fruit. And then we have my pomegranate. So if you guys remember my video from JoJo's house where he had pomegranates, so when we bought this many years back at my parents' house, I guess in the pot was another pomegranate that was growing, so I gave that one to JoJo when my parents were moving. And then I took this, it jumped from house to house, and because of that lost its leaves, went into shock. Had to keep growing, but it's been in the ground since 2017 when I moved here, and you can tell it's just loaded. It loves this spot. Doing excellent. I had a couple of fruit on here last year, but due to the early frost that came, it killed off the fruit. But it is flowering earlier this year, and it's just loaded with flowers. So excited. I'm sure it'll drop a lot of flowers, but we'll see what we get. I planted some fish in the ground in random areas in my yard. I have another trifoliate. Might take that out, put something else, just experimental. Got cilantro. There is garlic. I think this is I forgot what this is. A tulip maybe. Then I had the basil here, but when the cold came a couple days ago, I took it out. And then my grapevine. And I planted it in a pot and mulched it up because the drainage here is extremely poor. Every time it rains, just you get water buildup all along here. So I wanted to make sure I planted higher. You can see grapes up there. Sure, some more grapes all along. This is where I had my passion fruit last year. Grew up there, flowered, but used to have a ton of caterpillars, and there was like orange ones here, and then on this one they had these giant, humongous white ones. And rain just went into my eye. So that is my garden. Wanted to do a quick update for you guys. Oh, then we have another LSU, and what happened here. This is a dwarf everbearing, and I grafted Pakistani mulberry to it, and looks like some animal came and broke one of the grafts, unfortunately. I've been having this issue with a lot of my grafts. The wind breaking it, or animals coming breaking it. So hopefully this one takes. If not, I'm hoping that these guys will grow and then I can graft my Pakistani mulberries to those. But this is what is going on, and I will update you guys maybe in a few months to show you the progress, maybe see what's going on with this. But till then, enjoy and have fun. Enjoy growing. See you guys later.